is the men's 150-metre race. Aikines-Aryeetey for Norway, Harry Aikines-Aryeetey for Great Britain. Big new talent from South Africa. Really interested to see this young man, Clarence Munyai, and Oji Ediburan, another one of Britain's young talents. So an odd distance, really, not raced all that much, particularly in a straightaway such as this. Aikines-Aryeetey of Norway, 32 years of age now, has been here before on 15.34. We keep mentioning the conditions, that wind really strong behind the athletes. Well, if it gets on the back of Harry, then he'll sail away surely. Harry Aikines-Aryeetey started the season reasonably well, 10.18 in America for the 100 metres, although that puts him, I think, 5th or 6th on the British rankings this year. It's going to be a really competitive year for sprinting. Now, this young man, I think, is going to be somebody to watch. Could well be at the Olympics. He's run the qualifying time for 200 metres, 20.36 for South Africa, but he says he's aiming for the World Junior Championships. And one of our top juniors, the European Junior Champion at 100 metres last year, Oji Ediburan from Shaftesbury and Barnet Harriers. So 150 metres, this wind, as we said earlier on, around about 3, even 4 metres per second. And that will give them certainly the opportunity to run very, very quick. As I said, it's so unusual. We keep making this point to race this sort of distance in a straightaway, and when they look down the track, it seems such a long way away, but it isn't. So Aikines-Aryeetey, Harry Aikines-Aryeetey, a real pointer for him here, and as I said, Clarence Munyai and Oji Ediburan, two great juniors closest to the camera. Well, that's looked, it might have been a false start. We'll have to wait for the starters to make their mind up about that. Of course, it's difficult with a crowd very close to the trackers, etc. And that will be up to the starters' discretion. It looked like a false start, didn't it?
Perhaps the start of an inexperienced youngster. Talk about his talent, but still got to get used to big stage racing, perhaps. But I think that was clearly Munyai, but as Steve was saying, no false start rule here, so get to go again.
Well, it looks as though that's maybe a generous decision by the starter. Just to mention how well he's been going this year. You know, he's been running youth races, then junior races. He won the South African Senior Championships at 200 metres, and they've got some great talent at the moment, and he could go to the Olympic Games. World Juniors are in Bydgoszcz in Poland this year. He said that's his main target, but if he gets selected for Rio, we may well see him there. So Clarence Munyai in lane 3, a little fortunate. Ediburan closest to the camera, the Shaftesbury and Barnet Harrier. Harry Aikines-Aryeetey over in lane 2, Aikines-Aryeetey in lane 1. Cleanly away this time, closest to the camera. Ediburan got the best start. Harry Aikines-Aryeetey right alongside him. Munyai left rather, and is struggling to stay with these three. It's Harry Aikines-Aryeetey who's got a good metre lead now and continues to go away. Can he hang on to the end? Harry wins it. A wind, a howling gale. And that's like, with his back, it's like putting a sail up, isn't it? Carried down the track, Harry Aikines-Aryeetey. And he'll be delighted with that. You know, it's going to be a tough year in sprinting in Great Britain for all the right reasons. So much talent kicking around at the moment. It's going to be so difficult. The qualifying time won't be good enough. There are going to be so many men in particular getting the 100 and 200 qualifying time. But wins like this, yes, it's 15.1, that's quick, and it is a windy day today, but the win is important.
It certainly is for his confidence. Man who's had all sorts of problems with injuries, but I swear he gets bigger every winter and comes back. Just an enormous figure, great power, and Aikines-Aryeetey again just beginning to rock and roll a little bit towards the end, but kept his shape pretty well, veering towards the outside of his lane, but had the victory. A good run for Harry Aikines-Aryeetey. And you talk about the talent coming through, and a lot of people might have seen Nathaniel Mitchell-Blake running great times in the 200 metres, a name that won't be too well known to others, but he is a great talent as well. But good to see Harry Aikines-Aryeetey running 15.10 again. The wind makes it a little bit false, but it's still a very, very good victory for Aikines-Aryeetey.
Yeah, around 10.27. Mark Butler, our statistician, tells us he went through 100 metres. Well, with a 4-metre win, then he might not be too happy with that, but that's not a bad time for 150. Harry Aikines-Aryeetey gets the win.
And Harry's delighted the crowd with that victory. I know you're a popular lad in these parts and across the UK, in fact. I've talked to a few of the athletes already about what a big year it is, Olympic year. But for men's sprinting this year, it's just such a stellar event. It's going to be so tough for you guys just to make the team.
Phil, you're right there, man. I lose some sleep over it, to be honest, but it's one of those things that you look forward to. I mean, exciting. It's exciting. That's what we want. We want a lot of British sprinters stepping up onto the world stage. CJ, Kilty, Lasalu, Jamili, myself, Oja, the list goes on, and that's what you want.
And so it's boding well, not only individually, but for the relay. And if you guys can get it right, we're in there. We're in with a big medal hunt.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just make sure we get the baton round.